Gabon killifish breed quite readily. The issue is, like the experience I had with white cloud mountain minnow, eventually the adults recognize the fry as food. So whereas you might have success breeding Gabon killifish in a tank or white clouds for a while and they ignore the fry, after a while they learn to gobble up all of the fry. So what I've done with Gabon killifish is allow them to settle into a tank for a few months and then remove all the adults, and hopefully they've left behind some viable eggs that will hatch and I can continue breeding them. I previously had plants in this 29-gallon tank, but the issue of diatom algae is so bad the plants look terrible and the hardscape quickly becomes covered in algae. So I remove the hardscape and use a stiff brush to remove the algae and put it back. It doesn't take long to get covered again. What I'd like to do is remove the top layer of coal slag with a siphon and rinse it thoroughly and put it back in the tank and add some more coal slag so that hopefully there'll be enough of a cap over the compost to prevent much of the nutrient from entering the water column, and at the same time add a lot of plants that will hopefully keep that nutrient down. The scuds in this 10-gallon planted aquarium continue to work on the algae that has infested the plants, and I've stopped adding blanched banana to the tank in hopes that the scuds will go after algae before they try to consume live plants. I was going to add a trio of adult Gabon killifish to this tank in hopes that they would breed and leave behind some viable eggs, but I believe that they would immediately devour all the scuds in this tank and the issue of algae would get worse and worse. So what I'd like to do here is add more scuds from my scud culture 2.5-gallon tank, and eventually there'll be enough in here to rid this scape of algae. Here's a look at the 2.5-gallon scud culture. As you can see, there are loads of scuds, particularly on the hardscape. You can see them there. And there is very little algae on the plants, though I do keep the culture well fed with blanched banana. It's difficult to pinpoint, but at some point I must have either put a filter in this tank or moved some plants in here that had been in a tank of adult Gabon killifish, because today I did a water change on my Betta splendens aquascape and I was surprised to find a Gabon killifish fry. And so I removed it and slowly acclimated it to the shrimp tank, because the adults are likely to devour it. I'm surprised that the Betta didn't heat it up. And I'm very pleased to have saved it.